Alright, let's get into the next section about the operators. Uh, you should familiar with operators because you have learned something about it in a C language. The operator will perform a function on the operands. Depends on the number of operands. We have three kinds of operators: the unary operator, the binary operator, and the ternary operator. For example, here we only have one operand, so this is the unary operator. And the binary operator will make operation on two operands. And the ternary operator will make operation on more than two. For example, here is a kind of operation. We'll talk about it later. And we can divide operators into followed categories. Arithmetic operators, the first one, the second one, relational and conditional operators, the third one, the shift and logic operators, and assignment operators, and other operators. Okay, I will talk about them one by one. Okay, the first, the arithmetic operators. The arithmetic operators, well, we do arithmetic operation on operands. For example, here we have two operands, the first and the second, and we add them together. We use the plus sign. With minus sign, we subtract them. We subtract the first operand and second operands. Okay, and we multiply the two operands or divide them. Or we make some to compute the remainder of dividing. Okay, use this sign. So this is arithmetic operator. It's very simple. And there's a question about the return type of these arithmetic operators. That is, when we perform an operation on operands use arithmetic operators, the return type, what is the proper return type when I do this operation? Well, here's a list. Tell us return type depends on the operands. And for example, if there's two operands and one of them is a double type, and then the return type is a double. For example, now we have two variables, one integer I and one double j, and we add them together, and the return type is the double. Okay, we look at the list to tell us what is the return type. The return type should be the double because the two operands, one of them a double. Here j is a double, so I plus j, and the return type is a double. Okay, this is what's idea. And next, we should talk about something about increment and decrement operators. The increment operators double plus sign, the increment, and decrement operators double minus sign. But you should notice the double plus sign if we put them behind the operands and put them in front of the operands. There's a difference. If we put the double plus sign behind the operands, that means the first step in this operation is to evaluate the value of the operands. And the next step, make the increment. But if we put the double plus sign in front of the operands, that means the first step, we make the increment. The next step, we make the evaluation. So this is different. The same, if we put a double minus sign behind the operand, so it must first make the evaluation and the next the decrement. And if we place a double minus sign before the operands, well, the first step we make the decrement, and the next step we make the evaluation. Okay, that's the idea. So here's an example. Now we have two integers I and j, and assign them the 1 and the 0 respectively. And so I equal 1 and j equals 0 before we make some operations. And then we write the statements. Here in the statements, we put this double plus sign behind the operand. And then we use a assignment operator to assign the value to the j. Okay, well, when we do this statement, what happened? So we must know this that the double plus sign is behind the I variable. So the first step, we should make the evaluation. The next step, increment it. So the first step, to make the evaluation, so the j variable will assign the 1, the value to the j, and then the variable I, we make it increment by 1. So the I, now it becomes 2. But if we write another statement, we put the double plus sign before the operand I, now the result is different because the double plus sign now is before the operand. So the first step to make is increment. The next step is evaluation. So the first step, increment. So I from 1, now increment by 1. So now I has become 2. And then we make the evaluation. So the j, the variable, now this value equal 2. Okay, so result is the I and the j are both have the same value 2. Okay, and next, relational and conditional operators. Okay, first about this relational operators. Relational operators, you must notice that this kind of operators make the operation on two operands and they return the Boolean value. The Boolean value, the actual value is true or false. So we can make some relational operations on these two operands. For example, the first operand and the second operand. If the first operand greater than the second operand, they will return the true, yes. But if the first operand is equal or less than the second operand, it will return false. Okay. So the same idea as we have a greater than this operator, we have less than, we have less than, equal, I have equal, have not equal. Okay, this is relational operators. You must remember the relational operators. Once these operators finish it, they will return a Boolean value. That means it should be true or false. Okay, and then it's conditional operators. Look at this conditional operators. The conditional operators, we have this different symbols. Now we have two ampersands, one ampersand, two ampersand. Put them together, have a double ampersand. Double ampersand means we make the AND operation. And we have one bar and two bar, put them together, we have a double bar. The double bar, we make this OR operation. And with the exclaim sign, we make this NOT operation. So the double ampersand, the AND operation, the double bar OR operation, and the exclaim sign, we make the NOT operations. Okay, the AND operation means the first operand and the second operands, they make the AND operation. That means, for example, the first operands, the second operands. Now we make this AND operation means the first operand and the second operand must be the Boolean variable. It must be the Boolean variable. They cannot be the others. So the first operand and second operand may be true or false. Suppose the first operand is true and the second operand is true. And when this operation performed, it will return a Boolean value as true. So, okay, and if the first operand now it's not true, it's false, but the second operand is still the true, then it will return as the false. The result is false. And if the both of them are false, well, and the return will be false. And if now the first operand is, for example, it's true, and the second operand is false, and the result is false. So only, and two of them are both true at this situation, result is true. Okay, that is the AND operation means. And the OR operation. So OR operation is the same. If we make an OR operation, now we give you example here with first operand, the second operand, and make the OR operation. OR operation, we use a double sign. Well, we use a double sign. Now we use double bar as is OR operation. Okay. Well, the first operand, the second operand make the OR operation, and if two of them are both true, and the result is true. The first operand true, and the second false, result is true. Maybe the first operand now it's false, but the second operand is true, and the result is still true. And only two of them are both false. The first operand, the second operand are all false, then the result, well, false. At this situation, result is false. Okay. Only two of them are false, result are false. Okay. This is the double bar operators means. We make the OR operation on the two operands. And the NOT sign, the NOT operation, we use this exclaim sign to make the NOT operation means if the operand is true, the result is false. If the operand is true, the result is false. If the operand is false, and not false means the result is true. So that is a NOT operation. This is the conditional operators. Okay. And now we have another type of conditional operators. Now we only use, well, the one here, only one bar. Now it's this caret means we do the inclusive OR operation. This is inclusive OR. Inclusive OR operation on the two operands. So here we make the same AND operation, and the bar we make the OR operation. What's different from this operator? This operator, we do the AND operation. This operator, the double bar, we do the OR operation. But if we use single ampersand or single bar to do the same, to do the AND or do the OR, what is different between them? Okay, this is very important idea in these conditional operators. Okay, well, let's go back to this double sign. If we use double ampersand to do the AND operation, or use the double bar to do the OR operation, that means if we do this AND or OR operation, the second operators will be evaluated conditionally. So this is condition. The second operator to evaluate or not. We have condition. What condition? Well, we go back to here. And if we do this double ampersand, and that means if the first ampersand, for example, if the first ampersand now is false, that means in this condition, the second operand will not be evaluated because the results are always false. So the second operator will not be evaluated at this situation, at this case. Okay? So this means this is what its conditional means. And we look at this double bar, this OR operation, and they're the same, the two operands. If the first operand, now the first operand, if it is true, in this situation, the second operand will not be evaluated because whether the second operand is true or false, its results are always true. So this is conditional evaluation. That means if the first operand is true, the second operand will not be evaluated because the result are always true. So this is conditional evaluate. That means, well, in sum, that the double ampersand, this sign, we make the AND operation if the first operand is false. The second operand will not be evaluated because the results are always false. But if the first operand is true, then the second operand will be evaluated. Okay? And about this double bar operation, the double bar OR, if we make this operation and the first operand is true, in this situation, the second operator will not be evaluated because the results are always true. Okay? But if the first operator now is not true, it's false, in this case, the second operator will be evaluated. This is conditional evaluation means. Okay? And if we only use one sign as single ampersand and single bar, we do the AND operation or the OR operation. That means the first operand and the second operand, whether are both true or false. Or that means to always evaluate them, whether the first operand is true or false. So always evaluate them. That means in this situation, if the first operand is false, if we use the single ampersand, that means the second operand will be evaluated. Well, it's not different from the double ampersand. If double ampersand, if the first operands are false, the second operand will not be evaluated. But if in single ampersand, the first operand is false and the second operand will be evaluated. So this is here. And as bar, if you use single bar, that means the first operand is true and the second operand will be evaluated. Yeah, but if we use a double bar or the first operand is true and the second operand will not be evaluated. So this is different. Okay, so this single ampersand or single bar to the end of all operations, there are no condition. The first and second, the two operands will always be evaluated. That is, dear, this is very important stuff you should know when we learn this section about these conditional operators. Now, let's look at this caret, the inclusive OR operation. That means if the first operand and the second operand, they are different. For example, the first operand is true and the second operand is false, or the first operand is false and second is true. If they're different, and result is true. But if they are same, the first operand, the second operand are true, they're both true, they are the same, they're both true, or they're both false, and the result, when we do the operation, we will return false. So if they are the same, the result is false. If they are different, the result is true. That is inclusive OR means. Okay?